Abby. How are you doing?
Heather.
CommonGroundMeetings.com.
It's Heather.
What did I say?
You said Abby.
God, I know you're Heather.
It's Heather
You guys
Hilton
are like-
Hartford.
You guys are
just
like this, so
I know. Yeah, you could just call me Happy Hippie Heather. I'm hippie
happy Heather. All right.
basically, but it's HHH, triple H. Just say HHH or just say Heather.
I'm gonna say
But
Heather.
yes, it's Common Ground Healing. Yeah.
Common Ground Healing. See, I didn't say bright side medium. No, I gotcha. All right, so you asked Eric what our topic should be, and he said,
I did.
Hey.
Yes, we were talking earlier, and Mama E asked, what's the topic we want to do today? So, well, let me ask Erik. And so I sat down and I was like, do we want to do an interview or a topic? And then it started to come to me, and he said, right now there's such a shift going on that all of this trauma is coming up. Yeah. Trauma response. And a lot of us feel so stuck and out of place, and like we're not doing it right, or something's wrong, and it's bringing out a lot of this mental health stuff too.
Yes.
And so he wants to talk about that because during this shift, he wants us to realize that this isn't a form of punishment. This is a form of relief and shifting and healing.
It's a transformation. It's coming out of our cocoons, maybe.
It's like a rebirth, and as we all know, the birthing process is painful on both sides. He's like, not just for the mom, but for the baby too, and the cocoon process, we can't really talk to butterflies, but we do know that that's not a comfortable process either.
Wow. Great analogy about the birth and the pain.
Yes.
It's like, hey, give me an epidural right now, people. I
know. My first baby, I'm like, I don't want any pain meds. I'm going to do this. And then 10 hours in, I'm like, oh, okay, give me some pain meds.
Yeah. So go ahead and let's talk. And I know you want to spontaneous to higher self from people who are listening, right?
First, Erik wants to say, hi, Mama. I love you. I'm so happy to be here with you and Heather. He's like, because I'm trying to hold back, and he's like, don't hold back. No. I said, well, I do have to be careful. He's laughing. He's slapping his knee. He's like, I just think it's fucking hilarious. So he wanted to say that first. I love you, and I love doing this every time. I love being here. So wait, was there another question you asked?
No, I mean, I know that you wanted to give like spontaneous shout outs to other higher selves of those who are listening.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that's what he's answering, because he's showing me. Yeah. So he wants to do some random shout outs to whoever's listening, whoever tunes in. And I do this a lot with Mama E when we're doing those in Erik, because it just comes through. And as this group comes together, it's really this big tribe family. He is in connection with all of you. And so he wants to, when we do these, to just give random, just know that was me or whatever. So it's allowing your higher self to come through to talk to you about these trauma responses. So that's what he wants to say.
Do you want to start out with that, or would you rather start out with just telling what we're going
through
as a collective and as individuals?
Let's talk about what it is what trauma responses are.
Yeah.
And it's about being blocked from doing something or being your authentic self. And authentic, I don't always use that word, but just your purpose, and to ease your suffering.
Right.
And sometimes we are stripped of our material possessions, stripped of our relationships, stripped of who we were. We have to grieve ourselves in our old life because we're being pushed out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
It is a loss. It is a loss because it's who you were before the event and who you were after the event. And I'm not just talking about this life, but past lives as well. So, and Eric's, yeah, he says we do carry these things through lifetimes.
Yeah.
And it's past, present, and future. It's all happening at the same time. Not all of it can be reversed or changed, but a significant amount of it can. So we're here to learn through our lifetimes. And it is important to know. And he's like, yeah, you say this all the time, and it's correct. We never cross the finish line while we are in this human existence.
Yeah.
So don't expect to be perfect. Don't expect to get it. You don't, that's not what we're here for. You know, and it's like you have to fall apart in order to put yourself back together.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to fall apart. Some can't handle it. Some are here for not a very long time. And I'm asking him to tell me why. Why do awful things happen to people? That's what I don't get, is how such horrible thing. I just heard something. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's the bark from the dog. I'm getting ready to mute in case, because we have people working on the outside. Okay, good.
Okay, so he's saying that there's, you know, there's so many aspects to this. There's soul contract. There's our journey, which can take many different winding paths. And just because you went off your path for a while doesn't mean that you took a wrong turn. It doesn't mean I should have done this 20 years ago. It means you had a healing and learning process to go through. And there's also an amount of free will there. So we have many exit points. Some choose to go early just because, and he's like, you know, he says that's a very, very, very broad subject on why we choose exit points.
Yeah.
And what exit points are about. That's a subject for another time. He says, because we could talk all night about that.
Yeah.
There are passings that are formed from free will.
Okay.
And that's when they need a lot more counseling.
Yeah.
And
like you, Eric, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But he says, yeah, but look at me now.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I'm not saying that what I did was the way to go, because I actually had to do a lot of fucking work.
Yeah.
To get through this. And but I wanted to make it right by becoming the healer I was meant to be.
Yeah.
I just felt things so intensely that I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
That's why music. Okay, this is one of my favorite quotes, and you make me say it right. Music is the sound of our feelings.
Ooh. Wow. Music is the sound of our feelings.
Yeah, my hair is standing up.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, and we really develop these behaviors because of trauma. These behaviors are to protect ourselves. It's a self-protecting mechanism. Some of this I've personally learned and that I know, but I want him to explain to me his view of it.
Okay.
So he's talking about, because we do have behavior responses. I mean, I always talk about, and he wants me to bring this up too, and then he's going to expand on it, which I can't wait to see what he has to say. But, you know, we've got the three brains, the head, the heart, and the gut. And I've talked about this a lot. So, but it's a cycle, you know, so our gut is the gut feeling. Okay. But it's a cycle. It goes, we get something from the gut, it goes to our head. and then to our heart. And so we got gut, head, heart, gut, head, heart.
Yeah.
What we need to do, and I've said this before, is try to reverse that cycle, which is about breaking cycles in our life. And instead of going from the gut straight to the head, which is a mind fuck. You know, our ego can get involved, our conscious mind.
Yeah, it can
because
the mind is our own worst enemy sometimes.
It is.
Exactly.
And the truth is that about 90% of our behavior and actions come from our subconscious, not our conscious. Yeah. But our conscious mind is so stubborn. Mm. So we got to go from the gut to the heart to the head. Gut, heart, head. Right. So that's about breaking the cycle, and that's really hard to do, because our mind is about our beliefs, the beliefs in ourselves, the beliefs in others, the beliefs in the system, and it can be all negative.
Well, that reminds me of when Erik has always said that we are emotional beings, and for some reason, many of us have erroneously, I shouldn't say wrong because it's not really wrong, but we tend to think first and feel second. In other words, we think a thought and that evokes a feeling, and then that, instead of feeling first and letting that produce it's not exactly like that, I can't remember, but it's in there somewhere.
It's true. And that's what I get from spirit all the
feel
time.
First, think second.
Is that cycle, because we're getting the gut feeling, then we think, then we feel. Yeah. But we need to feel. I mean, our gut, our heart, and our brain have the same synapses, the same neural pathways.
Oh, they do. There's so much neurophysiology behind that too. That's really interesting.
Yes, and we take that for granted, and we've got to realize that getting out of our head, it's not an easy thing to do. But once we include the heart and the gut, and we break the cycle, we become. We realize that we're all one. We realize the infinite nature of our lives, and we realize how powerful we are. Because our tiny mind can't take that.
So, yeah, I love how you think of examples. So say somebody has this gut feeling, all right, then they're supposed to try to figure out what feelings is this evoking in me? And then that goes to the mind, and what do I do with these feelings? Can you give us a real life example of that would walk us through that process?
All right, Erik, go ahead. So he's talking about driving down the road, and for some reason you slow down. All right, your gut's telling you this. Your mind is like, why am I slowing down? And then your mind would tell you, you're going 10 miles below the speed limit. You need to speed up again. He said, but if we went to our heart, we would realize that our gut, our intuition never fails us. And so we open up to those emotional feelings and don't let our mind become the umbrella over our heart, because our heart needs to be the umbrella over the mind. And so then if we don't speed up again, we turn a corner and there's a deer in the middle of the road.
Right. So your gut feeling to slow down, and then in your that's the gut, and in the heart you're like, I feel like being cautious, and then the thought, okay, I better keep slowing down because I better pay attention to my feelings. Okay.
So the gut is about overwhelm. Okay. So when our gut is telling us something, we're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And that's part of why we slow down.
Okay.
If we go straight to the head, that brings fear.
Yeah.
And we question ourselves.
Yeah.
But if we go to the heart, that opens up our access to emotions and realizing that we're right, and to love ourselves enough to respect yourself and respect your gut feelings.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, what does this have to do with behavior response and soul trauma and all that? Or did we go off course?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
All right. So behavior response. It's
Erik,
about
tell people what behavior response is, because maybe not everybody knows.
It's how we respond to situations and life experiences that are based on trauma and the blocking of our ability to feel
So that's
complete
the
or
gut,
are
heart,
purposeful.
brain flow. Okay, got it. Right.
Well, in when you're trying to heal any trauma response, the heart, the brain, and the gut are all involved.
Of
It
course.
can be separate or it can be all together.
Okay.
But it boils down to that. So think about, okay, so think about this. Think about, okay, say if you say to yourself, I feel inadequate, then I can't experience being open to new experiences.
Yeah.
If I'm always guarded, if I'm always shut down or guarded from being open,
Yeah.
then I can't really experience being trusting
Yeah.
enough to experience new situations,
That's true.
to experience new love, new friendships without the fear of feeling like you're inadequate. And let's say this. Okay, if I'm feeling unaccepted or unacceptable, like nobody's going to accept me, it blocks me from doing things with purpose and finding my purpose.
Yeah.
Because I feel like nobody's going to accept me if I do what it is that I feel like my purpose is.
Yeah.
So those are responses. Those are behavioral responses that are subconscious that we do. We don't even realize we're doing them, but it's holding us back.
Yeah.
So we're feeling right now, and he's talking about how everybody's feeling this. We're feeling so vulnerable, so raw, and so broken and stuck. And we feel like it's something we've done wrong. It's not. It's because you're open to feeling this, and you have to sit with these feelings to heal them and realize what's on the other side of it. Why do I feel unattractive? Why do I feel unattractive? You know, that's a trauma response from rejection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if we feel unattractive, we don't put ourselves out there and our light dims.
We're incompetent. Anything. It's so much is based on previous rejection and betrayal.
Yes, betrayal is a big one.
It is a
Betrayal is really deep, and a lot of this comes there. There are multiple traumas that we couldn't integrate into our soul, and this is what Andy Hahn taught when I watched that video with you and him. He's brilliant.
Oh, he is.
I love how he looks at that. And it can be past lifetimes. It can be extraterrestrial. It can be ghosts. It can be you didn't go through the dying process in a past life. It's freaking incredible.
It is.
And it shows up as densities in your body.
Yeah.
And mental health has a lot to do with trauma responses.
And I'm sure physical health too, right?
Yes.
Physical and mental health. All these trapped emotions.
Trapped emotions, exactly. You hit the nail on the head, Mom. That's exactly what it is. It's trapped. And it gets trapped in our bodies and our minds.
It's so scary to release emotions because then you have to feel it. But that's what you're supposed to do. You know,
that's why we're here.
Canal or the cocoon. It's scary, but it's beautiful on the other side. Okay, it's beautiful to be born onto this earth. Beautiful to crack out of that cocoon and dry off your wings and fly, little butterflies. So
and he wants you. He said, perfect, Mom, because I want you to keep that image, because in this lifetime, you're not meant to stay in the same place. You're not meant to stay in that comfort zone. We're supposed to have this duality, and pain is pain, but so is love and bliss. And if we don't, we can't have one without the other. No. But if you allow yourself to cocoon, which is what is happening to a lot of us over this past couple of years.
Oh God, yes.
If we allow ourselves to break free from that and from our comfort zone and sit with the pain of breaking free, you wouldn't believe what the second half of your life could be.
That's true.
It's worth it.
Most definitely it is worth it. So I think it's just all about a choice between living life with an open heart and living in love versus living with a closed off
in fear.
Heart in fear. There's love and fear. That's the way you can choose. to live your life in fear or live your life in love. And guess what? Which one is, Eric, you're probably going to recommend to all of us?
Say it, Mom.
Live life in love. Feel those emotions, wallow in them if necessary. It's okay. Feel,
Yes.
feel. Just submerge yourself in all your feelings so you can shake hands and be friends with them, and then say thank you for giving me guidance. Thank you
Yes.
for showing me the way. Thank you for helping me understand myself better. Thank you for allowing me to understand my purpose better and my path better. So yeah.
Yeah, when I went through my dark night of the soul, which is the cocoon, and I actually went through it twice. I remember curling up in a ball and crying so hard. I was like, can you die from crying? I'm like, it hurt so
Wow.
bad. I'm like, can this kill me?
Oh,
And then afterwards I realized I was so proud of myself for for opening myself to vulnerability and pain and the fear of, I feel like this could kill me. And that's why I didn't cry for years. And then afterwards my heart was open. I felt so much love for myself and respect. And guess what? You survived, Heather. You survived this. And I felt so much lighter. Something released.
Yeah.
And it was painful. It was a painful release. But it started the second half of my life, which is absolutely beautiful. Regardless of, all the bullshit I've been through and still going through, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. That's a beautiful story.
It's just going through that pain. You have to feel it.
You can hide
it does
for only so long behind the sofa, but your feelings are just gonna keep haunting you, and
they do. And I'm
just gonna keep going on and on and on unless you get rid of it. Everybody curl up in a ball and cry. I think I'm channeling this from Erik, but it's like, it's like if you're really, really constipated and you also have an anal fissure, that shit's gonna hurt when it comes out.
Yes. Oh,
I got that from Erik. Just came to me.
He's showing me the moon card again. Oh my God, this is so funny. He's showing me the moon card again. And I've talked about this a couple of times, but just what you said, he's like, talk about the moon card. Because I explain it as the moon card is significant right now because the moon card is about dealing with our shadows, our shadow side, our trauma, and not being afraid to go into the darkness to come out on the other side into the light. So I always refer to it as the outhouse card, because you're in camp, right? And you got to go to the outhouse, but it's dark out. And it's not real well lit, so you're like, I don't want to freaking go out there, but you have to. Right? What are you going to do? You can't freaking hold it forever. So this is exactly what the moon card means. This is about getting through our shadow work. So you can't do it anymore. So you go out. You run to the outhouse, you're like, shit, looking behind, what's going to get me? I can see things, but you see shadows and you're like, it's deceiving.
Oh yeah.
And you hear noises, but you finally get there, you close the door, you're like, oh, okay.
Don't look in the holes, all I can say.
No. And that's the next part. Because then you went to your shadow self. Yeah. You went through the muck, right? You went through that fear. So now you're sitting down and all of a sudden it's darker in there. And you're like, is there a spider under the seat? Are there webs above me? Holy shit. And you're releasing, right? Yeah. So, you're taking a big dump of emotions, but you're still scared and you don't know what's going to come out on the, like when you get out of there, you're going to have a spider on you. It's freaky shit.
Yeah. Is there any toilet paper left?
Exactly. So there's so much involved there. And so you're done. And then you actually, you don't run as fast back to the camp. And if anybody's ever done this, you notice on the way there, you're walking a lot faster than you are on the way back because you feel lighter and you're relieved. And then you get back inside and you're like, that wasn't so bad. Yeah. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
That's right.
And then you feel so much better. And that's the phase we're going through right now is the moon card.
Yeah.
So that's why these full moons have been so powerful.
Oh, that's
very powerful.
Yeah. I mean, you got to make your way through the forest, the dark forest, because on the other side, you don't want to stay on this side. You want to get to the other side where there's paradise. I'm talking about not the afterlife. I'm talking about
in this lifetime,
the life that you were going to be gifted, that you have earned once you
He says
allow yourself to surrender to and feel your emotions.
he says there's paradise on earth.
Yeah.
We are living heaven and hell simultaneously in the past, present, and future.
Yeah.
And it's what we make of it
Mm.
that either brings the fear or the love.
Yeah.
There's a lot of you out there that are struggling with decision making,
Yeah.
with what you've been through and why you've been through it. Where am I going from here? And he says we don't really have control over what the universe puts in front of us as our path. What we do have control over is our free will and allowing the change, allowing the metamorphosis, allowing ourselves to be happy.
Yeah.
That we have a hard time with, because we feel like we have to earn it some way, or we have to prove it to be happy. And the more you try to prove it and make it happen, the more you're going to struggle. It's like trying to break free from chains. The more you try to struggle against it, the tighter it gets. But the more you allow and relax yourself, they'll fall off a lot easier.
Yeah. And your happiness definition should not be formed by other expectations from other people or from society as a whole. Let you be you and own it.
He's talking about friends or family members he had, where he says, he goes, I'm not sugarcoating this because I was an asshole.
No.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He says,
No,
I
I'm
could have been
not.
kind of a dick sometimes. He says, but that was my resistance and my unacceptance to myself and my journey. But when it came to helping others, he had words of wisdom.
He really did.
And some people really carry this in their hearts, the words of wisdom that he gave. And he wants to be an example to others. Even though I was struggling, you don't have to be on the other side of all this and feel all this love and be a guru or eating vegetarian or nothing against that, he says. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about that, but you don't have to, if you're having a cigarette, if you're drinking, don't think that you have to be perfect in order to be an angel on earth. Yeah. All you have to do is allow and spread your wisdom.
We all
and
have
he says, I didn't put those two together. I felt, I didn't feel like I had made a difference with people until after I left.
Oh, but I saw it the whole way.
And that's what he wants you to say.
Yeah.
That's the example.
Yeah.
That Mom, everybody sees it around us except us.
I know.
Because we don't feel accepted. And that's a trauma response. That is a self-protection. So even through our trauma, even if we haven't healed all of our trauma, it doesn't matter. We can still be those messengers from your guides, your higher self, and your angels.
Speaking of higher self, what do you want to say? Anything else before we start tapping into the higher selves and some of the listeners?
All right. So, okay. So so I'm asking him to explain the higher self.
Yeah.
So he likes my version of it. He says you're kind of weird and funny, and that's why I love you, but I like your version of it. So like I imagine it as the higher self is our subconscious, right? We have the conscious mind, we have our subconscious, we have our all-knowing, and it's infinite wisdom. Our higher self is the subconscious and all-knowing, and it's who we are throughout all of our lives.
Yeah. And on the other side, right?
Yep. It resides in our body. It resides in our feelings, emotions, our head, heart, gut, our aura. But I am. This was the easiest way for me to think about it, and he thought this was funny. Is that I think of my higher self as the queen or king. Queen and king are kind of the same. They're actually the same.
Okay.
On a throne behind me, higher up. Okay. Right. So when I want to connect with my higher self, I know I'm this human being right here. I know I'm this physical existent, but my higher self is sitting by me on a throne. And she's a fucking goddess, she's beautiful. She knows it all. She rules a
Awesome.
kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's who talks to me.
Okay.
So he says, our higher selves are a lot like, you can compare them to the souls that have passed. You can compare them to your guides. They talk to each other in relationships.
Oh, yeah.
We can access our higher self anytime we want. So what he wanted to do was see whose higher self wanted to come through to talk about, dude, you got to get back on your path. Or dude, you've been doing what you're supposed to do, but now it's time to listen.
Okay, before we go on to those, I want to remind everybody to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so that you can get notified as to what's going on with our YouTube lives, et cetera, and like this video if you like it. But and also be sure you share. But anyway,
yeah, he wants to talk about Atlantis Scalar real quick.
Okay.
He says this is Atlantis Scalar, and I don't know the ins and outs of it or what's been going on with it, but he's talking about this huge shift with Atlantis Scalar, with how the energies in this field have become so much more honed and skilled.
That's true. We did make big shifts, and we added a whole bunch of cool enhancements. So yeah, there has been very recent, since like mid-October.
He's talking about breaking cycles, and do you have breaking cycles?
Yeah, I got a lot. Yes.
Okay, so he's talking about breaking family system cycles, genetic cycles.
Right. That we cut ancestral DNA when we can. The Elohim help in that.
Is that fairly new?
Yes.
Okay, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So he's recommending that.
Well, people have already had the first version of it. They could just get the much cheaper tune-up, because all those enhancements are added and everything is redone for the house.
We're also planning another Channeling Erik fundraiser to go towards people to pay for Atlantis Scalar.
Okay.
So that's coming soon. Abby and I have been talking about it. So we'll get that going. So anyway, we're going to start bringing through higher selves. So we're going to spend a half an hour on talking about, oh my God, I already got the chills. I'm just going to light some Palo Santo because there's a lot here.
Oh,
like, Eric's like, he's the security guard. He's got a security guard jacket on. He's doing this. He's like, wait, hold back. Oh, I love you, Erik. Thank you. He's so funny. I know. Yeah. He's like, I can't hold back for much longer. I'm like, yes, you can. Shut the fuck up.
You guys,
sorry, we're just talking.
I swear.
We are
very similar senses of humors.
He's funny. Shut up, Erik. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I am not going to say that. No. All right. Okay, so let's go. All right, so I have a gentleman here. This is a higher self. This gentleman is of a native descent.
What, Native
there
American?
Is Native American. There's Native American.
Okay.
Has been disconnected from that.
Okay.
So he's talking about reconnecting, even though you've never met your tribe, it doesn't matter. You have this within you, you know it, you see it, you hear it, drumming. And there's some sort of, didgeridoo. Didgeridoo. Okay, he's talking about that. You have one. Pick it back up.
Yeah.
So he's talking about getting back on your path. This is your higher self that's been you've been feeling disconnected and stuck and sort of out of your element your whole life, like you haven't fit in anywhere.
Right.
Stop resisting this purpose in your life just because you feel like, well, how can I be? I wasn't raised that way. I don't know anything about it. Well, then research it.
Yeah.
Step back into yourself.
Cool. To your roots. Yeah.
Yep. So that's for you. You know who
Next.
you are.
Pick a number.
Okay. Okay. Eric. Oh, he has, wow, this is a young child.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So we do have, is this a guide, Eric? No. Okay. Is this somebody's child? Yes. Okay. This is somebody's child
Okay.
that's been trying to connect with you.
Oh, wow.
Roses. Roses. What kind of roses are those? They're yellow. Okay, so they're not like roses. They're like, oh, this is primrose. Okay.
Okay.
It's about stepping out. It's about the going through the process of the trauma and stepping out on the other side. It's time.
Okay.
So she's now who stepped forward is her higher self holding this girl's hand. Your higher self has her and will always have her.
Oh.
So you need to, it's time to let it go and to have this total love instead of regrets or wanting to know answers. And they're smiling and happy and they're skipping off.
Oh.
I guess that was it. I guess that was it.
Sweet.
All right. Eric, what else have you got? Okay, so there's someone else moving forward and they've got, okay, so I want to say a jazz singer. Because he's holding some sort of trumpet, not trumpet, no, because that's straight. What do you call those? Saxophone?
Horn, maybe?
Saxophone. Yep.
Okay.
Music. Music. Okay, so this person has a saxophone and is like, you need to, okay, so music is the sound our feelings make. You've put it down. Adding to it. So he's showing me like you've been interested in this equipment, getting equipment to loop sound, to loop sound, lyrics. This is what needs to come out of you. This is what's inside of you that has been waiting to come out.
Oh, okay.
So you know who you are too. Dust that shit off.
Okay.
All right. Eric's still, he's still standing there with the rope up. It's the rope with the red velvet.
The red velvet.
I'm like, Eric, right. Oh my God.
Excuse me, you're not on the A list, so back of the line.
Oh, he's like, honey, you don't want me to open these freaking floodgates. I mean, seriously. I'm like, no, I don't.
No, please, let's take care of this AAA.
Okay. All right. So there's someone else stepping forward who, okay, this is your higher self. You lost an adult son to an accident. Every year you celebrate his life, not just on one occasion. So I'm seeing birthdays, holidays, death date, all of this stuff. And he's like, it's like the celebration is sort of bittersweet. Now, I love that you're respecting my memory. Okay, now the higher self is coming forward. Okay. So I want to say this is a father who lost his son. Okay. I thought it was a mother, but the father figure was the mother and father figure. Okay. And I want to say construction.
Okay. The accident?
Yes, construction. Okay. The accident, it was on the job. All right. So the higher self is like, this is part of your soul purpose, the soul contract between both of you And it's almost like you got to, so Erik is showing me a record that keeps skipping. It's skipping, skipping, skipping. It's playing the same thing over and over and over again. Time to change up the memories.
How?
He's like, and your son is saying this shit is getting old.
So what does he need to do?
Okay, so showing me like living through him. I want to experience this excitement and joy and love. And experience is through what you're doing, not by always memorializing me, because that's fucking boring to me.
Been there,
So
done that, bought the t-shirt.
get back out there, start new adventures so that I can experience them too.
That's nice. Okay.
All right, so that's that. Oh, so Erik has an older woman coming through. Is this a guide? Oh, this is a family member.
Okay.
I thought we were doing higher selves. He's like, there you go thinking again.
Oh God. Well, I mean, maybe the higher self will join the grandma, the mother, or whoever this
Well,
is.
this is a grandmother who was very much heart and soul with this young woman. You
Okay.
were a young woman, now you're older, but you still carry her with you, and she's very much a part of you. She just wanted to say she's so proud of you.
Oh.
And can you bring her higher self? Okay, so her higher self is coming through. Dark hair. So she's got dark hair. The higher self,
Okay.
almost like black,
Okay.
black hair. She's holding your hand, and she says, "You listened. Thank you for carrying on my traditions and doing it with an open heart." She just wanted to give gratitude and love.
Okay.
So
The higher
here
self
she's
or the mother, the female.
the higher self,
Okay. Okay. Got it.
and the grandmother.
It's a
So,
grandmother.
but because they're almost one, it's like
Oh, cool.
they're soul connected.
Oh, so the higher self, the grandma. And the higher
Yes,
self. Do our higher
yes.
selves very often look like us in each incarnation or in one?
It helps. No, but
Okay.
it helps for us to see it that way,
Okay.
because what we look like. Erik, can you give me an example of what, like in our human existence, what you can compare our higher selves to? Okay, so he's talking about pressure, a ball of energy,
Okay.
color and light.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take on a specific form, but it helps for us to see that form as who we are in order to connect with it, because that's what humans do. In order to connect with something, they have to put some sort
Personified,
of,
yeah.
yes.
Humanize it. So what does
so
yours look like? Can you take a look at yours, Heather?
my higher self, in my form or the real form?
The real form. Or
All right,
either.
Erik,
Both. I don't know.
I'm gonna ask Erik if he can help me with that. All right, so there's it's this energetic form that it's almost like wah 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 wah. It's got these
Okay.
waves. You can almost hear its vibration.
Oh,
And
cool.
the colors I see: turquoise,
Mm-hmm.
red, violet. Turquoise is a strong one. Turquoise, red, violet. What do these colors mean? Okay, so if we close our eyes and we meditate. This is how I meditate, because I got no attention span.
Yeah.
But it's intention. It's all in intention.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
So we can connect with our higher selves without having to put human form to it, or in our monkey minds to try to think about what it looks like.
Right.
But to really allow that connection, you can hear the vibrations. It can be sort of a piercing ring in the ear or a dull sound in the ear. Also, you feel some pressure in the back of your head, because we've got the pineal gland
Yeah.
and the pituitary gland, which work in tandem to allow this to happen. So that's why we feel this pressure. Also, when you close your eyes and you really let go of expectations, you can see color. And it's not about seeing color in the blackness of your closed eyes. It's about seeing color in the ethereal realm.
Oh, in your eyes, your mind's eye.
Your mind's eye.
Okay,
Yes.
third eye. Okay, cool.
So if you think about, okay, I want to see what a monkey looks like, and then you think about it in your mind, your conscious mind.
Right.
Okay, I see a monkey in front of me. Now you let that go, and you just take a deep breath and let it go, and you say, I want my higher self to show me what that monkey looks like. And then you're gonna realize there's a huge difference there.
Wow.
And then you see it again, and you're like, okay, that wasn't where I saw it before, or that's not the same part of my brain that I was using.
Oh, everybody try that. That's pretty cool.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. And you can also ask for your higher self to show the parents that they want to show to you. All right, but let's take a few more. I don't want to go the whole hour because people don't
No, I gotta write down turquoise because I want to look up that color and see what it means.
Yeah,
I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
So
maybe three more
okay.
higher
All right.
selves.
Three more.
I'm gonna look up turquoise while you're doing it.
Okay. Okay, so I've got a young man coming through. This is your higher self. You're meant to be a healer. You're meant to be doing this work, and you haven't stepped out yet. Well, you have a little bit, you've dabbled in it, but your higher self is just a beaming, bright, like you've got work to do. Get out of your own way. Eric's like, get out of your own fucking way, dude. You're your worst. Like we were get your mind, get into your heart and your gut. It's there.
Well, are there any hints you can give so that the person may know it's them? Like maybe what part of the world they live in or anything?
Okay, so I want to say his name is not a common. So his name is not a common name. Okay. It's not like a, John, any of the popular names. It's got sort of it's a cool name. So your name is not common, just like you.
All right, that's good. We'll go to the next one.
Yep. All right, so he's walking away. All right, so here's here's a young woman. I say young because I'm 50, so she's probably 20s or early 30s.
Okay.
You're going through a divorce. Your times are tough right now, but you're breaking the cycle. Don't worry about the courts. Don't worry about the battle. You've already won the battle because you made that first step.
Yeah.
Follow your heart in everything you do. And your instincts and intuition is not going to steer you wrong. That's a narcissistic. Ooh, that's tough.
Oh.
The kids, don't worry. Don't worry about the kids. Okay. That is okay. Erik hates this. He's like fucking when they use the kids against.
Oh.
He's like, don't worry. It's going to be okay. It's going to turn out okay. This is part of their journey too. Right. You have not failed. You're actually getting stronger. Yeah. So keep going.
To disconnect from a toxic relationship. That's not easy.
That's a huge step.
Right.
So your higher self is just you wait to see what's coming next, girl.
Awesome. All right, another one?
I love that. Okay, let's do one more.
Okay, and then I'll read out what turquoise means because I found it.
All right, Erik. Who you bringing through? Oh, he wants to bring through your higher self.
What? Okay. Oh my God. Gulp. Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
You got some explaining to do. Just wow, so full of energy.
That's where it went.
It is Oh no, you're nonstop.
I know.
This is okay. So trauma. Talking about trauma response. Okay. You want to fix everybody.
I know. That's a
You
problem.
can't fix everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Love with detachment. Love with detachment.
Oh, yes, I get that.
Let go of the outcome.
Mm.
Keep doing what you're doing. But those things, she's saying 3, your higher self. Did I just say 3 things? Can you say them again? Because I can't remember.
Love with detachment.
Detach with love.
Okay.
Let go of the outcome.
Right.
You can't fix everyone.
Right.
All right. So that's.
Doggone it. No, I do know. I want, for example, to fix everyone in my family who's unhappy, which I can't do. And I'm learning to disconnect from that because, that's their own path. And I'm also trying to learn how to, scalar energy works 98% of the time, but I get so upset and connected to the very few that don't have successful incomes when it's usually something within. So always something within.
Yeah.
Nothing is what we do. All right. So that's good. Thank you. All right. So turquoise aura is all too often overlooked, or those who have a turquoise aura are too simply described as innate healers who love people. In both the world of color and as far as auras go, is a mix of blue and green, very representative of the basic traits of each. While the turquoise aura draws its supportive nature from the blue aura and the innate healing from the green aura, this color really does stand on its own and deserves to be recognized for its uniqueness. One defining trait is that a turquoise is always friendly and available, but never seeking. I don't know what that means. Many auras with innate healing capabilities find themselves, and that's so you, consistently drawn to those who need help and spend every waking hour devoted to assisting them. On the contrary, a turquoise possesses the wisdom to know people are best served when they take the first step. Discover more about the turquoise aura, blah, blah, following article. So it talks about personality traits and all that kind of stuff. So
take the first step to healing.
Right.
Encouraging you all to take the first step to healing. Wow, that's incredible.
That is, and you can read the rest of it. It's the first thing that comes
I will.
up. Look up turquoise aura, or meaning of turquoise aura. Okay, Eric, really what is cool. My main color of my aura? And I'll look that up later, whatever.
There's blue and yellow. So there's it's a blue and yellow with this mix of green because it's sort of melding together.
Okay.
So blue and yellow. Okay, so I'm not going to assume what that means, but can you give me a hint?
It's okay. I'll look it up. Don't worry about
it. Oh, okay. Power and love. Power's determination, will, strength. You're a go-getter, but the blue is also about healing, and the green's about the heart. Okay. So that's pretty similar. Yeah. It's like that's very, very similar. So that's the first that came up.
Cool. All right, you guys. Oh, go ahead.
Try it yourselves. Everybody try it yourselves, including you, Mom. Just allow yourselves to see what colors come up first.
Exactly. All right, you guys, look how awesome Heather is. You can get in touch with her at commongroundhealings.com, right? And bye, Eric. I love you. Bye, Heather. I love you. I missed you.
I love you, Mama. Yes. He's like, we're doing this once a month.
Yes.
Next time, he says, next time we're going to do an interview. So whatever people want to, because he says we got to do an interview next time.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you.